Alright, we're back into it. Alright, so Bob and the truck arrive, and after a little while of waiting around, you'll emerge from the claw, from the cave, leading a Bone Naga.
I would have had, I would have had someone explain it to him. Well, we're transporting, because we haven't really told anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I expect that was told on the way over.
Mm-hmm.
I assume so as well, but...
Bone Snake! Yes! Ooh, Bone Snake big!
It's weird Bob calling something big because Bob is humongous.
Yes.
Also, Bone Snake. Anyway.
It is a bone snake.
Yes.
This way! He's like this. You get, even though it's like hard to tell because he's got like the hood and the mask on and stuff. You know, you're sure he's got this quizzical look of like, will it fit? Gives you a thumbs up.
Excellent. Nice job,
Perfect.
Bob.
Tarp!
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Gets out a
Good
tarp. You get the Bone Naga. Hello, Bone Snake!
I just want to know the Naga's reaction to Bob.
I thought the Naga spoke a language that wasn't common. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't understand it.
I think you could understand it.
I could as well.
Yeah.
It was, I was about to say, it was either Infernal or like Draconic. And I think it was Infernal.
It was Infernal. We can understand it too.
Yeah, so it speaks Infernal. So it like quizzically looks at Bob. What an interesting being you have here to control your truck construct.
Yes, he is...
He's odd.
He's
far
loud.
more...
He's very nice.
Yes.
He likes cupcakes.
And he's far more
Does this
intelligent
normally
than he
transport
appears.
farm animals?
Yes.
Cakes, mostly.
Could not have you gotten a clean cart for me?
Sadly, no. This is all we could do in the time frame we were given.
It's gonna get in, like, but if it had a face, it would probably be giving you that.
Yep.
Had a face.
I mean, it's just Bone. I can't really Bone doesn't emote very well.
You should like draw him on some eyebrows or something.
He's just like draw on eyebrows. Just give it
With,
permanent.
like strings that can move.
They're just permanently drawn on angry eyebrows. So when you look at like the eye sockets, they got like angry eyebrows above it on a bone snake.
Yeah.
Oh, if this thing slept, I would be all over that.
Well, I guess it has that
Too
kind
afraid
of
of
like semi-human face, which is kind of creepy too, because Naga.
Yeah, no, Nagas are really creepy in my opinion. Just something about a human face on a snake. To me.
With just like a serpent mouth and like that kind of like
Yeah, but
human
he's a
face.
skeleton, so it's not like you don't have to imagine the face. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, there are some non-skeleton-y ones.
There are
Yes.
non-skeleton ones.
We don't talk about those.
Yeah, they got creepy human faces.
Yeah, but this one looks so cool. It's wearing jewelry.
Yeah, they do that too. They have magic
I
item
prefer
slots.
just. Oh, I mean that one looks alright. Almost.
Yes, the
Anyway.
jewelry one. I saw that one too. Alright. It'll get in. Probably glare at you very glaringly.
I gave it a smile.
I guess, are two of you getting in the back with Mom?
I'm in the front. I already bagged
Can-
that.
Can I just stay in the back area with the snake?
Maybe. The snake takes up a lot of it. It is a large snake.
I just need like a corner of it.
Alright, you're getting in the back with the snake.
Heck yeah.
It's got like a layer of like straw and probably pig feces, you know, around the bottom.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit more comfortable than sitting with whatever Bob's mom is, you know?
I mean, at one point, she slept with a troll, so...
Yeah.
Versel, what's your plan?
Done good things, done.
I'll be in the back with Bob's mom.
You just like have this incredibly creepy, slow, like it takes like 3 minutes, like head turn of like just facing you.
What is Bob's surname anyway?
You haven't asked.
Then I'll probably just refer. Good afternoon, Mrs. Bob. I just don't know.
Like after finally like turning. Not girlfriend either.
Oh.
As he'll start driving. So you'll head for the dock. Actually, you could probably pick up what his last name is, as it is on the side of the truck. There's a label there, if you want to look into that. It's for Kilroy Farms.
Oh, I think that came up at one point, but it wasn't very clear that it was his last name. So it's Bob Kilroy.
Mm-hmm. Theoretically, he could have also inherited the farm, but that's the closest thing to a last name.
And the first dude he ever murdered was called Roy. It's just a completely made up surname.
Yep. He just had the pig farm before. Like probably like an hour into the drive, as you're like getting back in the city, you'll hear, Mom says Scale's pretty!
Aw.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Kilroy.
No! No, Mom! Friend!
She really wants those grandkids.
I'll ask! Can have scales when shed!
Very well.
Congratulations, Mom! New necklace!
She just asked essentially for your toenails.
Christmas gift! No, whatever Christmas would be. Oh, birthday gift! As then, like, afterwards, after, like, she's been staring at you for, like, an hour, the head will start to slowly turn back again, you know? And the rest of your drive will be relatively uneventful, as you eventually will make it to the docks, and to where the Angel is docked. The Angel is a yacht. It is a large boat. It would be like, it looks like a large, like the size of a large sailing boat, Except it's not sailed. So it's not like one of the... It's like one of those large yachts. Not the sailing yachts. It is engine all the way, baby. As I cough again. There'll be like a couple of very scantily dressed men standing outside of where the the ramp to the ship is.
Mm-hmm. Is Robin? Where is Robin?
You would like mistress? I'll call to her. He'll like get like a walkie-talkie on his shoulder. Captain! Mistress is needed. I guess her guests are here. And one of her friends, and... Moving bone steak?
Probably not uncovered yet.
Well, there's like maybe like a flap open, and he's like trying to like figure out what's under there, the tarp for traveling.
It's just like
something moving made of bones?
No,
are we paid enough for this?
You're fine.
Well, he asked the other guy. I don't know. I thought I was paid handsomely. As they high five.
Oh gosh.
Eventually, though, Robin will. She'll take like 15 minutes and then come down. She'll be like adjusting parts of her clothing and be like, "Oh, yes, that's right. We were going on a boat ride. Hello, Bob." Robin! Mother says hi! Yes. Excellent. Hose that one down. She smells very pig. Rest of you, stand next to her, please. She will actually have them get a hose and, like, hose you down.
Wait, hose who?
Like, all of you.
Like us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Get some towels and then have them go to the washroom so they don't make a mess. So what are we transporting? You said something about transporting.
Yes, that is, well, I want to spray that one down as well. It is a... Naga. Bone Naga.
Have we arrived where we're going?
Yes.
Kind of?
Well,
Interesting.
partway.
As Robin switches to Infernal too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. A Bone Naga. Registered?
No.
Even more interesting. We better get it aboard quietly then. She'll kind of like come up and like throw off the back of the tarp and kind of give a small bow. Forgiveness, you seem of free will, unlike many of your kind that I've heard of in the past. Very few of you do. Your name? It'll give it Zhaoxi. Well, Zhaoxi, you'll be coming aboard my ship. Apologies, but your transport has left you in a little bit of shambles. Allow these men to wash you off, and then I will find a fine place for you. And some adornments. You seem to be missing some. I'm sure they found you in a dingy hole somewhere. Locked away for how long? A beautiful creature such as yourself shouldn't have suffered like that. Actually, she'll switch back to common and be like, you have to know how to regale a Naga. This is my first business. Seems like you're very, very out of touch with regaling these creatures.
Well...
There's a reason I speak 20 languages.
Fancy words have never been my strong suit.
It also means I've spoken most of the languages of most of my husbands, but that's besides the point. Now come. You need to get washed up, and then we'll depart once we're all aboard. Bob. Good luck on trip!
Thank you,
Hi,
Bob.
Bob. Thanks. I put the recipe for the cookies in the top of the tin.
Thank you! Right. You'll board the Angel. As I said, it's...
Hey, Bob with cookie recipes.
As I said, it's one of the large-scale yachts, so it's probably like, we'll say like 3 floors above deck. This is definitely the kind of yacht you could have a large party on. And then a number of below deck. The crew is all very attractive men in very skimpy outfits.
Well, okay.
Makes sense.
Not surprised.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, I'm just picturing that, like a topless man with like one of those like little collar bow tie things.
That's a lot of, but like the sailor version of that, maybe like a little hat, you know, like just the jacket, like a sleeveless jacket that's just like right at the top, so it's like open like right here, you know, it's like not anything whatsoever.
Covered in oil.
Yeah, they're all covered in oil, muscular. It's just the jacket's just there to hold the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Like Speedos, you know.
Oh god.
After you settle in for a while, the one man who probably that's not like super attractive and looks competent comes like in as you've settled in and you're taken to this large like it looks to be like a relaxing room. It's got like a little bar there where one of the sailor we'll call them the sailor boys is like, you know, serving drinks. Robin is already lounging there in very puffy like pillows with like one feeding her grapes, you know. They actually like will have the Naga set up in this area like in pillows and stuff adorned with some jewelry, which again you're not sure because it has no face. It seems to be in a good mood. Probably, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably a way it carries itself that makes it slightly more. I have a good insight.
Yeah,
I don't have a great charisma, but I have a good insight.
It's carrying itself in a very regal pose, you know. As like probably one of the boys is kind of like nervously like polishing it with like its bones or something, you know. Yeah, with this very nervous look on its face. But the man will kind of come in here. Madam, the boat is ready to depart. Thanks, Captain. You can go and have us go. Remember, we're heading to New Mezro. I hope to be arriving there early evening. I hope you don't mind if we stay in the boat overnight once we arrive, unless you want to use the cover of dark to get your friend out. Our new friend here, Salhi. Mezro's a little more open-ended. Because of its little bit lax laws, you don't have to necessarily worry about registration for the dead. Well, I should say the not dead.
Yes. It will... I think we can leave that up to Yaun-Ti.
You'll also have noticed that Zirin is now, like, visible and at the bar with, like, a martini glass, but is, like, as tall as him. And he's like,
Yep.
Yo, this chick's
is
got
he
some good
inside
moves.
of it?
No, he's not that small. he's still like 1.5 feet tall, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. He's tiny, not diminutive. Uh-huh.
It's about the size of a cat.
Yeah, he's like cat-sized, you know? I could pick up Damien and be like, wait. Hi, Damien. I know, you were cleaning your belly.
She does not appreciate this.
She does not appreciate it. She's like, I was cleaning my belly. Oh, you were cleaning your belly. Too bad you're our Zirin stand-in right now. There you go. Let me go back to cleaning my belly. So yeah. So he's enjoying a martini, which I guess no one is necessarily surprised at his presence, but, like, it's a little weird. Again, like, Kalimport is a city where there's a lot of unusual species, maybe in smaller numbers, but you have a lot of them.
Also, he's been at the meetings.
He has been at the meetings occasionally, yeah.
In his fancy new suit.
Yeah. Relax. It's a long trip. I've had my chef prepare a special dinner, and then when we get to Mezro, I'll stay around. I don't know how long you were planning on being there, what business you had, but I'm willing to spend a few days. I have a few contacts there. There's a nice resort town in the nice part of town where tourists can come in, and I can get some fresh cocoa beans, which my chef can make some very fine chocolate out of. I hear that he's got a great recipe if we can find some of the very high-end stuff.
That is a question. How far into the jungle was the
The only problem
Yaun-Ti?
is Yaun-Ti sects are spread throughout the jungle. You're fairly certain from the information that you've gathered from Chult that if you follow the river, is it Ojing there? Let me try to get a bigger map of Chult. One that's like zooms in map. Chult.
River Olun? Lake Lua?
Yeah, Lake Lua.
Luo?
Yeah, Lake Luau. Yes. Yeah, like around Lake Luau is where the tribe you're looking for, or the sect you're looking for, settled into. Don't have perfect information, but last you heard from research, they had moved into an ancient Yaun-Ti pyramid that had been abandoned in the area and resettled it about 1,000 years ago.
Do we have a name for this specific cult?
I
know we did, but I definitely did not write this down, as I should have.
Give me a minute to do it. My God, fantasy name generator, I love you so much because I can just look up like things like I can like freaking search Yaun-Ti name generator and get Yaun-Ti names. I don't have a last name, so I'm gonna name it after an important member of it that probably settled it. Let me find one. Because I forget what I called it, so I'm just going to make a new name and write that down right now so I can have it.
I don't think you gave us a name. I think you just said we knew the name.
Yes. Let's give you this. Let's not do it. I like this one. Zathis. That's, Shathius. Yeah, the double S's. Just to, like, dick with you. The Shahathis sect. Originally settled by Shahathis, probably a relatively in that sect of famous Yaun-Ti that originally moved his small group to the Serpent Hills when they originally did it, and was one of the first Yaun-Ti groups to, or maybe the first Yaun-Ti group to settle within the Serpent Hills. The sect itself, of course, has spread and become much larger, and it's hard to say how many exist to this day, but at least a core group of them is said to be at this pyramid, or it had been some time ago.
Given that information, what I'll probably say is probably wait until morning to undock Jahalhi, and during that time we may need to find some more information to make sure we know where we're going in the morning.
not a bad thing to find more information.
Mm-hmm.
So, you of course will head through and sail. You'll have a fine dinner. Of course, your snake friend doesn't need dinner, but you know, happens. But it's a fine time. Yeah, let's see here. So, if I'm using the map here, you have to go along the River Oolong to Lake Liao, and you'd probably pass the Valley of Embers. And to the south, on the eastern side of Lake Liao, heading back into the jungle, in between the Valley of Embers and the Peaks of Flame, are where the old pyramid is said to be.
Okay.
I found a very high-res map where I could like use that to like just put it on the map very easily.
Yeah.
I
assume the Valley of Embers is between the Peaks of Flame and Lake Lua.
Yeah. That it is. Peaks of Flame being the volcanoes in the area. Because, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, the Peaks of Flame are on the map that I have, but not the Valley of Embers.
Yeah, the Valley of Embers is in between that and Lake wow, there's actually some marshland that you'll have to pass by if you're not using a boat up the river Oolong into Lake Liao, which you probably could take a boat all the way from Mezro. It's not an easy travel along the river, but possible. There are a few small settlements on Lake Liao, nothing major. Again, like, most its coastline and places like that. And the Valley of Embers, again, there's probably a few small villages out that way that are on the modern maps, but because it's in the shadow of a volcano, they don't tend to be as settled.
Yeah.
So,
I just found out that the Tomb of Annihilation has a Chult map in it, and I want to figure out how to tear it out. Anyway.
The only thing that's, like, you still have to worry about is there are a species of humanoid-ish things in the river that may or may not be friendly. The Urians. Lobster folk.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
There's lobster folk?
There are lobster folk.
Oh, I love it.
I would put their name if you want to try looking up their... because they have a 5th edition image. That is what they're called, their race. You can look up what the lobster folk look like. They are highly intelligent, lawful, neutral, and civilized. So...
look. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Lobster folk!
Wait, do they have eyebrows? Do those pieces of shell move like eyebrows?
I'm gonna say probably yes, because that would be kind of creepy.
Yeah.
They can emote with shell eyebrows. Enjoy.
Oh no. These things are weird.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Oh.
Yeah, I like the idea of lobster people, but seeing pictures of them, I don't like them.
Can they grow like mustaches on their slightly human part of their face?
Oh boy.
I will say yes.
They're barnacle mustaches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, you know, they do have, like, a nose, a mouth, and then, like, you know, eye stalk eyes. They're just, slightly people.
Yeah.
In the creepiest of ways. And they're much better looking than the freaking older editions, which I totally forgot looked like just, like, weird crabmen or something from like 3rd edition or frickin' 2nd edition, where they were like literal crabmen. God, they improved them a lot.
I see. There's value numbers. Where's...
Oh, the 3 ones?
Yeah, the 3E ones. They're just weird.
Oh, the 1st edition look hilarious.
Yeah, they're like just like weird lobster-clawed, bird-beaked people.
Yeah, they look like birds.
1st edition just had art, you can almost call it. It was art.
Yeah. I do like 3rd edition, though. I think it's hilarious.
It's like somewhere in between the two. It's in between like being an actual like crab/lobster and then being like the 2nd edition like full crab.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
literally,
it doesn't work out.
I'm a crab, but I have human legs. That's
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
the old ones are really weird.
I love them.
They're so good.
They were 7 to 10 feet tall.
Yep. They're large. So you might have to deal with some Urians along your travel, is the only thing. Because there's a number of tribes that live in amongst the river, Oolong. Of course, you know, there are controls for the more dangerous thing that appears in the mouth. Used to appear in the mouth. Fortunately, you know, things are under control with the good old dragon turtles that used to be in the region.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They still are in the region. It's just that, you know, people have found ways to keep them away from ships and stuff in the region. There's like...
Also, dragon turtles are actually intelligent, so...
Yes.
Probably made some deals.
Yeah. The dragon turtles, you know, they're a freaking intelligent Leviathan type thing. You know, they're probably long ago, you know, realized with, you know, the advent of dangers of modern society that they should make deals with things, probably after like hunting incidences and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. So when we arrive, we'll probably want to try and do some... Probably just wander around and find out about some of the... Ask around, I guess. I don't know. Probably find a boat up the river as well.
yeah. Alright, so you'll arrive in Mezro, though, after a 12-hour journey in probably the lack of luxury. It's like more luxurious than you could ever have like imagined, kind of thing, because the type of luxury you thought about is different than the luxury you're experiencing now, kind of thing, you know? It's a weird kind of changes of it.
Yeah, this is like royalty luxury to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, our little tiny apartment was probably like super amazing. And now it's like even better.
Yeah. So eventually, though, you will arrive in Mezro. And Mezro, in comparison to Kalimport, is very different. Kalimport has this, like... It can have its dirty points, but it also has this, like, general cleanness to it. You think about, like... because it's a more, like, warm tropic area, I almost describe it, like, as the business port in, like, Miami or something. You know, there is a grunginess to it, but, like, Miami also has, like, very nice, like tropical areas, very heat places, probably got tourists, just like Chult does, because it's on the coast there and pretty far into the south. Very nice, warm area. So, like, I would describe Kalimport as a cross between the, like, New York City and Miami, you know, because it's probably closer in size to New York City because of, you know, it is a major trade hub in in southern Faerun, and it always has been. Mezro, on the other hand, it's a little bit like, I'd say, like, Rio de Janeiro. I think, is that got Coast Point? I thought it was on the coast.
I think yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So you have to think of it more like Rio or something. It's kind of settled in at the nest of the river. It does have its major port. The buildings there's the old city, which you can definitely see ruins, like remnants of, when you're arriving in in parts of the port, because like the port kind of is spread from around where the old city was. But then you get into the newer parts of the city, kind of built into the structure there, where it's kind of buildings that are kind of like piled on top of each other a lot. So it does have that kind of like a very, in comparison, it's like first world, a little bit of third world. That's Chult. It's a little bit more savage, even just in its appearance, and you can tell just by that. Like you guys have been around Calimport now for like months. You can see that there's parts of the town which are very like gritty, where like poorer people and more crime is, and much nicer areas where there's less of that. This definitely has the feeling of those like kind of dirty, dingy places, but it's kind of everywhere. There definitely is a kind of party feel to it. Very like, you have definitely the natives of Chult are a large portion of it, but you have a lot of like bloodlines of those that kind of moved in too. There is a large population, of course, of humans. What's the other races? There's probably a good number of Tabaxi too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Aarakocra are also prevalent in Chult.
Yeah. Yeah, can't forget those guys. The bird people. Yep. Probably with a number of like Yaun-Ti are around too. You might even see some Yarians probably at the port, because the port is like at the kind of where the ocean comes into the river mouth too. So there's probably like some of them on like very simple boats, which are kind of like, storing material, which they might even just like, rather than like, sail the boats, they might just like leave them sometimes, so it's got like some like basically canoes kind of things that like don't look like they have room for people, and are just have like stuff in them, like fish and things like that, where you can see like there's like a fish market when you're going into the port area, where like probably the Yorians are bringing in, fish from the river and stuff. So yeah, Sahalashi will stay on the boat until you're ready. But even this late at night, like, because you get in like probably close to like 1 or 2 in the morning, things are busy. Like the fish market probably isn't open, but you can see like people bringing in like fresh fish to take like the refrigerators. Some of the Urians are probably bringing them in now at this time of day, because the fish market probably opens only in a couple hours. It's opening at probably like 4 or 5 in the morning. So they're bringing their stuff.
I was just looking at the races section of the Tomb of Annihilation book, and there's also Terrafolk.
Oh yeah, the Pterosaur people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not super common.
Nope. There's also wild dwarves, goblin, and some lizard folk too.
And grungs.
Yeah, bullywugs. Yeah, they got a lot of different races. Some trolls, some troglodytes. The number of races within Chult are pretty wild. Again, like there's probably a huge group of humans still. Humans were the big group anyway in the area. Human tribes. But you'll definitely see signs of some of the other races, especially here at the port, where people are coming in, bringing in stuff from deeper within the jungle. There's probably this entire area of like shipping that comes through here. Mostly these kind of like the dugout canoes led by the Urians, with a couple other races that come in with their stuff too by the river. Robin's gonna stay on the boat.
Yep.
So, what's the plan? I'll stick with you guys. I could stay with the drinks, but it's good tasting, but I don't I can't get drunk. You know that kind of things.
Fair. Well, I guess the current plan is to take a look and see what we can find out about the Yaun-Ti and the Valley of Heroes.
Nope. I guess we should start asking around? Or go to some place that might have some information. I don't know.
Let's...
Suppose we could try to ask around first.
Yeah, this place seems pretty touristy. It wouldn't be weird to ask. Yeah, more about it.
I may be probably one of the better ones to ask around, as I probably don't look as out of place.
Yeah, well, there's probably not a lot of elves in the area.
Yeah, elves.
But humans, there are plenty
tiefling.
of. Oh, well, tiefling, yeah.
Yeah, tiefling and what's
Half elf.
Half
half
elf.
elf. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, like,
Like they're obviously around, but it's just like
well, tiefling populations are around, but tieflings don't tend to be like a big, we're just a tiefling
tieflings are
population.
never big. in
Yeah,
an area.
they just tend to be like, it's a bloodline in families.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. There is a local bar in the area. Apparently it was an old city bar that was rebuilt after the spell plague and everything was rebuilt. The Green Triceratops. It's actually got, like, installed above it, like, a Triceratops skull above the door. So it's sort of like those, like, like you get those, like, bars and, like, ports where you get, like, a shark head or, like, fangs or, like, a fish skull or something. No, it's got a big, like, Triceratops skull above the door.
I respect the aesthetic.
It's pretty great.
Very well.
So you're in the it's like this is like definitely a seedy tavern, like in a port. Certainly there's a lot of sailors there, some locals, probably like, you can see like in the one corner there's a couple, like this building is definitely big though too. It's got a lot of space for people. And the one corner seems to be these really large table where there's what looks to be a Chult and a troll drinking together. There's like, you can see like a number of Urians are like around a table drinking some things. There's a Aarakocra that's up at these like tables that are actually hanging from the ceiling, so they're like up there. So they kind of like fly up and perch in them. And you can see there's a number of other like various races and humans and stuff at various tables. And the bar is busy, even at this late at night. But you can see like there are ships coming in even now. So probably these are a lot of people that have unloaded just from the ships and stuff, It's a 24/7 probably port that this place is.
Yeah.
It's the largest port in all of Chult.
Yeah. What's larger in the bay, Calimport or Mezro? What would be a larger port?
Ooh. That's a tough thing. I think I would call overall, because Mezro's a little farther back into the kitchen inlet, like it has a little less base space. So it's Mezro is probably not busier, but they are comparable, I'd say.
That's fair. I was just curious. Because I know those are probably the two biggest ones in the whole bay.
Yeah, Calimport probably is bigger for various other regions. Probably Calimport does global shipping more. Mezro probably does...
the sea, not the bay.
Yeah, the sea. Mezro probably does a lot more, like, this area kind of thing, the Shining Sea. Mezro probably doesn't do as much global shipping. Probably transports a lot of stuff to Calimport and probably other cities along the Shining Sea. And from there it goes out, you know. Because Calimport's also like a lot of the land routes. Probably it comes into there from Mezro there. So there's probably a lot of traffic that way. Though I'm sure like some places in Lantan and the Netherese Isles actually get some traffic from Chult too.
Yeah.
Anyway. So... Oh, wait, did we lose someone? Yes.
Yeah, they...
Uh-oh. This did happen earlier, I think. She was back pretty quickly.
Okay. I missed it when it happened earlier. I wasn't
It
paying
only happened for like a minute.
See, I didn't pay attention to it on the... I have to check, like, the second monitor for some stuff, and I wasn't looking over at OBS at the time. I was probably, like, looking at all my, like, open tabs on information on Faerun that I'm building the lore from, you know?
Oh, gosh, it's... Yeah, like, I'll be honest, you need, like, 10 screens when you're streaming to have enough information.
Oh, my God. Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, if we were doing this and you also had a battle where I'd have to throw up a map, I would have to have like 4 different things of like at least 4 Internet Explorer or like not Explorer but like, you know, internet
Yeah, I was
pages
about to say.
I use Firefox but like Firefox pages open because I have a billion tabs open beyond, you know, the main one. Because, unfortunately, I'm just using the Roll20 chat I popped out for most of the stuff for this. And I cut down on tabs as we were looking through this, too. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Discord tab.
Yeah. So you'll actually see an old-looking ogre who's he's obviously missing a couple fingers on one hand. And it looks as though, like, his one eye, it's not missing, but it looks like it was damaged in something. Enough that it's it's still usable, but, like, it looks like it's got some really horrible scars across it and stuff, too. He's like, "Welcome! What'll it be?" "I recommend a special."
Very well, I'll take a special.
I'll take a special too.
All right.
Sure.
This is a special one here. We've got 3 specials. I'll give you the most famous one here. He looks like he takes a couple of bottles of something. He mixes it together. He takes out this special bottle that you can see has this kind of weird brown liquid in it. Pours it in these like kind of like glasses that it turns it this kind of like brownish mucky color. And he kind of says, "The dinosaur plop."
Appropriately named.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Are you sure this is safe to drink?
Yes. If you don't know, it is, don't worry. Drink it first, then we'll tell stories.
Oh no.
okay then. I'm just gonna fucking chug it.
It is both good and bad, I will say.
Okay.
It has a very interesting flavor that, like, when it goes down, it's really interesting. Like, it's got a lot of floralness to it, and you pick up, like, hints of, like, chocolate and stuff. And then afterwards, it is just, like, it is strong, that it's got, like, strong liquors, so it's got that strong, like, but it's also got, like, this, like, kind of, like, just bad aftertaste.
Oh man.
So, like alcohol.
That's something.
It's a lot better than the old recipe. In the old recipe, they used actual Triceratops plop. Now we use stuff from a small dinosaur in the one of the plantations. The thing eats some of the small fruits that are that go too ripe. Afterwards, it kind of processes it out. Takes a little bit to get it down to the special brown sauce. It is brown, but don't worry, it's been sterilized. I know that travelers such as yourself sometimes worry a little bit about that, as he kind of winks with his bad eye. So it's actually like he can't quite wink because it looks like most of the eyelid has been removed too. So it's like this really creepy kind of wink.
Twitching.
Yeah, it closes just enough that you think like it probably wets the eye, but it's also like really creepy.
Oh no.
Well, that
Don't like
explains
it.
them. Morrowinds.
Yeah. We removed the mesh of the red stuff. We haven't had that on the menu for a while. It was an old specialty of the old store. Made it with T-Rex poo.
Oh.
Are
Yeah.
all of your things made with like poo?
Not all of them. We have a green drink that is made with one of the local plants. Don't sell it as much anymore. But occasionally, it's one that is hard to find in the plant. It's just a little bit hallucinogenic. Not enough to be illegal, though. Basically, they've got, like, a green plant that's a little absinthe. We'll say, kind of something like that.
I might be back for that later.
When we get some in, what brings you to Mezro? You don't look like the sailor types. Like most of us. Unless you're looking up to pick up some men. Because you got some men here.
No, I'm on my way to visit a friend in a Yaun-Ti settlement, south of Lake Luo.
Ah, yes. What was that place called? Over near the Peaks of Flame, yes?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I believe that was called Teztele.
Yeah.
Tzteel. If you're interested.
TZ what?
I'll throw it into chat here.
Okay.
Again. There you go. Teztel. Teztel.
Yeah, that's the one.
They got the old pyramid there. Government's been trying to have them opened up as a tourist place, but they keep resisting. Tribesfolk.
Yeah.
I heard many of them don't travel.
Well, one of them decided to get back. One of my friends decided to get back to her roots and moved down there, and I'm visiting her for the first time.
Make me a deception check, though. Just
Very well. This is gonna end poorly. You guys seem to forget that I don't have a charisma score, despite the fact that I'm always the face.
You might be the one with the highest now, aren't you? Or are you the one with the
I have a
lowest?
-1.
Oh, you're the one with the
gosh.
lowest. Me and...
I'm at 0, yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 0 too.
Yep.
Oh no.
Can I spend inspiration?
I haven't given it to you? Sure. Why not? I don't know. We'll pretend you had one. I keep forgetting inspiration exists, so...
I had one marked down. I don't know why.
I may have said you had one at one point in time for some reason. Go ahead and use it. There you go. I'll probably award another one someday again. That's a reroll.
Yeah, no.
Slightly better. Let me check something, actually.
Is it possible for us to maybe help?
Yes.
It would have been advantage all the same.
Good to know.
You rolled a 1.
No. I was just looking up what a freaking ogre's wisdom was normally.
Oh.
Yeah, low. So. Huh. Yeah. That sounds strange, but I don't know much about Yaun-Ti and roots and stuff like that. I think your friend was lying to you, but whatever. Probably just wanted to find a savage husband. Ooh. I was like, he'll do this. He'll flap his arms out a little bit and like shake where his crotch would be, which is down where all the bottles are.
Oh.
Ugh.
I'm gonna take Mishka's drink and I'm gonna drink that one real quick too.
I needed that though.
No, you
Need a refill?
Good.
It's probably like a mixture of what would effectively be like rum and tequila, and then like and probably a little bit of like local ale, and then the brown liquid.
Then the brown liquid.
Yeah. It's like the coffee beans that are eaten by those birds and stuff, I thought was. Whatever it is. Except
Yeah, no, I assume that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to just be poo. It just used to be poo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They got better. They found a better poo.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, is there anything you'd tell me about those Yaun-Ti down there?
They're a little more traditionalist. Don't use a lot of modern conveniences. Only got a couple of things. I think they got like... probably the elders got a satellite phone if you need to contact the outside world. But other than that, don't bring much stuff in there. Mostly keep to themselves as far as I've heard. You probably need a boat to head down that way. Maybe a guide to take you across the Valley of Embers. Not always an easy travel down there. Look, I'm sorry, outsiders like you bringing in here, it's pretty difficult travel. I mean, I could recommend someone just to keep you safe, at least for the boat ride.
Very well. Do you have a name? I say, taking out like a pen and paper or whatever.
I'm gonna try something here. They don't have that. Okay. I'm just gonna... Okay. Need something... I like that one. Okay. We'll just use this one for odd. Hey! Fasium! Kind of moving over... from, the tables, is the Chult! As like you can see, like it's got like big lobster claws and these like tentacles coming from its mouth, and you can see like in amongst the tentacles looks to be a cell phone that it's carrying. As then like it looks like it uses some of the tentacles to like type something out, and then it doesn't like in a text to speech. It does like, "What do you need?" Oh, these ladies need to take a boat ride down the Lake Liao. 200, whatever, it'll also be like 500 of whatever Chult's money is. God,
Rupees?
No. I'm gonna give it Brazil money. I'm just gonna name it after Brazil money. What do they call it? The Real. Oh my god, it's called the Real. 500 reals. And I'll take you down the lake. Yeah, it's this giant, like, lobstery aberration with, like, It looks like leathers and stuff, like kind of put over it to kind of like protect its back, probably stuff. It's got like a little like weird hat, probably like strapped to its head. You don't see its eyes. It just has these like a couple like dozens of tentacles coming out of its mouth area where you think it's its mouth. Giant like lobstery claws and these tiny like kind of like hands below it, and it walks on these kind of like 4 legs. It's a very unpleasant aberration. But apparently, you know.
Would I have learned enough about computers to Google the conversion of lira to real?
Zirin probably has.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have. You can probably figure out how much it is. The real probably will say is like 3 real to. No. How much? What would a good payment be? We'll say it's approximately 500.
Actually,
Ruble.
IRL, the real is more powerful.
Oh. Oh yeah, it's 1 Brazil real to 0.22 United States dollars. Oh. So I'll use about an appropriate conversion on that one there. And we'll say like, okay, he'll want 2,000 real. We'll say, which is about 500. We'll just say is around 500 ruble. Because we said it was ruble. I think.
What?
Wasn't it lira?
It was lira.
Lira.
God, I'm forgetting
Lira.
stuff already. Yeah, so it would be about 500 lira, about 2,000 real is what he wants. So he wants like 500 of your dollars, effectively, of your lira, and he'll take you down the river.
Sure.
Sure.
He'll text to speech again and be like, "I can get some fishing done. I can wait a week for you for whatever business you have in the lake." Take you down and back.
Very well. We do have one other friend. How about we, come over here and we can discuss more, I say, dragging away from the table.
He'll probably lead you over the table where he was drinking with the troll. Hello!
Hello!
He'll be like, my first mate. Oh. Why don't we wait to do the business deal with the troll and stuff? I just noticed the time, which is when we kind of wanted to end. Yeah.
Also, my idea was pull away from the guy who we just told information so we can give different false information to them.
Yeah.
So, yes, the troll...
Good job.
Yeah. So, Fashimsum and his troll first mate.
Okay.
Chult ship captain. I'll have to name the troll first mate, still. But I will give you a name for him. As soon as I do a troll random name generator. Because I love having this name generator open. Stuff, and I'm sure I can find a troll one too. Thank you, random name generator. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to get going. We should hopefully be back next week, theoretically. Let's give some shout-outs to people. I'll just go the same way I came in. Jess.
I am Bubblegum Viking, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and I'll be here again in just over an hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jinxx.
I'm Jinxx Jams on Twitch and Twitter. I'm probably streaming this weekend if I can.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Wyrm.
I am Diamond Wyrm, Twitch and Twitter. And pretty much everywhere. I can for now. Yeah, so find me there. I'll also be here in about like an hour or two.
Cool.
Hour and a half.
Yep. I'm Dracovin. You can find me here very often daily. I'll be back to a normal schedule this week from today on. You know, I was at PAX East, relaxed yesterday, so I should be back at 2 p.m. East EST for Legacies of Kain if you want to see us do Vampire the Masquerade. Next week we should be back for this one. If you want to see more D&D, 8 p.m. EST for Children of Wrath this week. And for some gaming streams randomly throughout the week. Otherwise, discussing tabletop on Saturday. And Grinding Gears also on Sunday then, the bi-weekly game. There we go. I've shouted out everything for now. We're going to go running off and be back. And, you know, 3 of us will at least be back in an hour and a half for another entire game. But, you know, with a new person. So, see you later for now, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.